Welcome to Pick Up and Deliver, the podcast where I pick up my audio recorder when I drop my kid off at school and deliver an episode to you while I walk home. I'm Brendan Riley. Well, good morning, listeners. It is Wednesday, April 24th, and the weather is lovely. It's a bit chilly. The omniscient Google suggested that it was going to have a low in the mid-40s, and it feels like about 50 degrees out. I didn't wear a jacket because it feels like springtime, and no one wants to wear a jacket in spring. But it's a weird space to be in because my hands are cold now because I didn't wear a jacket. So I did grab a stocking cap, which I'm wearing, which works okay. Probably would have been warmer to grab a jacket, but then I would have been too hot. I don't know. It's weird weather, but it's sunny and lovely. And I'm happy to be taking a walk with you, fine listener. So I thought today I would talk about a couple lists I keep. As you know, I keep more and more lists every day. It seems like I come up with a new list to keep on Board Game Geek. My Geek Lists page is going bananas. But there are two that I've been updating lately that I just wanted to talk about because I don't think I've shared them with you lately. And that's my Games of Interest list and my Top Want list. So Games of Interest list are games that I think sound promising and I'm intrigued. So I put them on there as games I'm interested in. And then my Top Want list is games I know that I want to buy at some point. Now, this isn't the only prioritization I give to game buying, but it's a significant piece of it. So I'm going to start with my Games of Interest list and talk about these a little bit. Now, I'm working from a single post-it note on which I scrawled some notes, so apologies if I am not as thorough as I might be. You don't come to this casual walk-in podcast for thorough, careful research into board games. You can go to the Dice Tower for that. All right, so my Games of Interest list. There are a variety of things that might get a game onto my Games of Interest list. It could be the designer or company pedigree. It could be something I heard about the game. It could be the art. It could just be it sounds interesting. So then I put it on there, and it stays on there till either I see something that makes me not interested anymore and I take it off, or it moves up to my Top Want list. Or sometimes, if I buy games too much, so it might just be a game I bought. Okay, so the first two games on the list are Transhumanity and Perseverance. These are both upcoming games from Mind Clash. As it's clear, I'm a big fan of Mind Clash games. I've liked all three of their productions so far, and I see no reason that these next two wouldn't also be right in my wheelhouse. And so, barring anything, or until I hear more, these are the top of my Games of Interest list. The next one is Black Angel. Black Angel is a really interesting sounding sci-fi game. It's by a renowned game development team, a duo, but I cannot for the life of me remember what other games they've done. And of course I'm walking, so I don't have my internet handy. I first heard about it a while ago and I thought it sounded really interesting, and then Patrick from Blue Pig Pink Plague had a chance to play it and he talked about it being really interesting, so it has stayed on my Games of Interest list. Looking forward to seeing more stuff about that. I have a number of... What the heck is that? The next one is a game that I saw basically through ads on BGG, and the art got me in and the theme kept me there. And this is an upcoming game from PUaD Games, Abomination. The theme is that you are a medical student in Vienna in the mid-1800s, and you've been contacted by a mysterious figure with lots of scars to build a corpse being, to build him a bride. So basically you're a medical student and you're being forced by Frankenstein's monster to build a creature for him. It looks okay. I mean, it's a great theme. The art is gorgeous, and all of PUaD games are really lovely looking. I find for myself they're really hit and miss about whether I like them or not. I actually, of the PUaD games I've played, I'm less enthusiastic about most of them than enthusiastic. I've liked quite a few. I've enjoyed my time with them, but generally that's not an insta-buy or anything, but they always have beautiful production, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Abomination. They've got a number of expansions that I'm really excited for. The Bunny Kingdom expansion in the sky I think is probably a must-buy, but I want to see what reviews say. Space-based Shy Pluto is, I believe, either already available or will be available very soon, and that's gotten a lot of good buzz. It sounds like it's got a kind of narrative component, which should be neat and actually would probably help me get space-based to the table more. My family liked it, but not a ton. I really like it, and so having a different way to engage with the game I think would help. Bunny Kingdom also probably has that same effect. And the update for Stronghold, a game I've only played once, but I really enjoyed. Finally, Ignacy Trzewiczek is bringing out the expansion to Stronghold, Stronghold Undead, which gives you an alternate army to attack with. And I think that definitely sounds interesting to me and will probably make it onto my shelves. Another expansion I'm interested in is the Grizzlies from Barren Park. So, I'm interested in a lot of these expansions because they reinvigorate games I know I like already. This is a reason to like expansions. Also, generally, you can make them fit in the box with the other things. And so, being able to not have to keep 2 boxes is nice. I will probably have to throw out my insert and or make a new one for Barren Park if I buy the expansion, though, because currently my insert fits the box perfectly. Although there is room for those things, okay. Another game from Portal that's coming out is PUaD, which is a fashion design game that continually gets a lot of love from people. They talk about it with great admiration and joy. I'm kind of on the fence about this because Portal games tend to be really hit and miss for me as well. Or I really like them, but they're very hard to play. Robinson Crusoe is an example of that. We played it once, I thought it was really interesting, but it was so hard that just getting it back to the table, I didn't, and now I'd have to relearn the whole thing. So I don't know about that. PUaD, I'm definitely going to wait for reviews on that. Another game on my games of interest list from Essen is a game called Atlantis. It's like Atlantis, but with dice, Atlantis. It's a neat theme, and it sounded really interesting when I heard about it. And the art is lovely, so I've kept it on there. A couple new additions to the game that I don't think I've mentioned on the show before. Black Sonata is a game about Shakespeare, I think. And it's a print and play game that you can order. You can order it professionally produced, which I would probably want to do, and seems well received, although I don't know a lot about it, but I put it on Games of Interest because I want to check it out at some point. The most sort of knee reflex game is that I read that Jaws is coming, and I think I mentioned this on the podcast before. I got pretty burned by Shark Island, which is goofy and fun, but not good. And so it'll be interesting to see what they can do with Jaws, and whether or not they're able to succeed where Shark Island did not. Finally, the last game on my games of interest list right now is Quirky Circuits. Quirky Circuits is a new game coming out from Nikki Valens. It looks like a medium weight engine builder. Mostly I'm interested because it's from Nikki Valens and I've liked everything I've played of hers thus far. And so continuing to support that designer, especially after she left Fantasy Flight, seems like a wise or a useful approach to me. So those are the games on my games of interest list as of now. So let's move over to the top want list. These are games that I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy sometime. Might not be soon. They might move off here eventually, but these are games that I'm keen on. I would say the most tentative are Rise of Queensdale and Innovation. Both of these games are games that I have seen. In the case of Innovation, I have the base game, but there are like 4 expansions, and they're all relatively inexpensive. So I'm kind of keen to add one of these to my collection. Avery really likes innovation, and so having a game we can play together that I can expand is always helpful. So one of the expansions to innovation I think would be interesting. Rise of Queensdale is a legacy game from Inca and Marcus Brand. I really like their games when I've played them, and legacy games are generally fun. All the reviews I've seen of it are pretty good, but it didn't hit very hard, so I'm hoping at some point I'll see it on discount and I can pick it up. Okay, we have two expansions. The Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. I need to pick up Carlton House and other cases. That might be my next purchase of the games on this list. And then we also have Roll for the Galaxy Rivalry. I really like Roll for the Galaxy. I don't play it enough, but the Rivalry expansion is actually 3 expansions in one. It's as much as the base game, but there's a ton of content in there, and I think it would be really fun to have that flexibility for that game. So excited for that. All right, these last 3 are all games I definitely want, and who knows when I will buy them. The first one is Glass Road. This is a very well-known and well-respected Uwe Rosenberg game that uses more of the rondel style than the worker placement stuff, which I haven't really played much of Rosenberg's rondel games, but this one is supposed to be very, very good, and I'm excited to play it. It's actually been on my to-buy list for a long time, but I've never seen it on discount at a time when I had funds, and the retail is like $70 or something. It's on the high end, so it's never lit my fire at the right moment for me to buy that, but it's always kind of right there. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride for Glass Road. There's an event game on here that I've just kept on there. It's moved on and off my to-buy list for a while, but Twilight Imperium is a game I would really like to own. The one time I played Twilight Imperium 3rd Edition, I could tell right away it's the kind of game I really enjoy. It has a bit more player attacking than I normally like, but I really liked it, and at some point I will probably pick up Twilight Imperium. And then finally, I've been doing more solo gaming lately, so one game that comes to the top of everybody's list when they're talking about really good solo games is Nemo's War. Nemo's War, the recent edition, the art was done by Ian O'Toole, and so it looks very pretty, and the price is a little expensive, but not unreasonable. And so that's a game I've had my eye on for a while. That's Nemo's War 2nd edition. And then finally, the last one, those 3 are kind of they're all definitely going to get purchased at some point. And the last game that I put on here, during my trip I mentioned I played Anirim a number of times, and that kind of reignited my interest in these Torby designed games. Z-Man sells them. They all come in the same shape box, shape and size, and there's 4 of them. There's 5. There's Anirim and Castellion, both of which I have and I enjoy. And then there's Sylvion, Arion, and Nautilion. They all are well reviewed, and if you like one of those, you probably like the others. So those are 3 that I find interesting and exciting, and at some point I'll be interested in picking up those as well. So that's my top purchase list right now. I'm trying to be more brutal with my getting rid of games list because we just have so many games. And so I'm thinking toward we'll have a toggle garage sale, and I'm thinking toward what games I might sell there. Not just clunkers I want to get rid of, but actual games that people might want to buy as well. So that's kind of the situation I'm in. In the meantime, what are on your top want lists and top games of interest? What's a game you've heard about that I haven't, that you think I should be keeping my eye on? Maybe I did hear about it and have decided I'm not interested, or maybe that'll be a new thing for me to add to my list. Pop by Board Game Geek Guild 3269 and let me and the other guild denizens know what games you've had your eye on. Until then, I hope your next walk is as pleasant as mine was. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.
Brought to you by Rattlebox Games.